Hey, it's Fletch. I'm Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform. This is an audio version of my latest blog, Pandemic 2020, Lessons Learned. It's often said that behind every dark cloud is a silver lining. While that may be hard to see with several 100,000 lives lost and a good portion of the population affected, even the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 has provided some valuable lessons. In the public safety space, both administrators and directors of our nation's 911 centers have been faced with several operational challenges that, unfortunately, very few ever actually planned for. Disaster plans often included redundancy in equipment, resiliency in networks, and even plans to co-locate in adjacent municipal facilities, and these were planned and even rehearsed to some degree. However, having to remain inside of a center while having to implement social distancing separation often created challenges with the physical space available, as well as that face-to-face interaction that was expected or needed to occur. For the very first time, centers were all faced with the challenge of having to establish remote call taker capability. And that wasn't because the center was inaccessible, but because social distancing would no longer allow a safe work environment due to the proximity of workers and the confined space available. Now, this alone began to force some tough decisions for those administrators and directors, as putting individuals in remote locations were creating various security and IT challenges, as the boundary of the walled garden of the PSAP was extended beyond the physical boundary under the control of the municipality. Fortunately, technology is capable of dealing with remote workers, either in a controlled remote facility or even a worker at home where appropriate conditions exist. With the massive closures of municipal facilities and many workers no longer utilizing that office space, it became fairly easy to temporarily acquire these facilities for public safety employees. Now, this allowed the employees to be located inside of a secure physical environment where network connectivity quite often already existed or could be easily established. This provided an immediate fix for the problem of additional space requirements and allowed a proposed work-at-home environment to be explored for a formal solution without exposing sensitive information to validated workforce employees, and didn't affect the sanctity of the information by extending it safely into the public internet. Once an employee's physical environment was established and verified, creating a closed-off workspace with the privacy concerns addressed, and establishing an appropriate broadband connection using session border controllers or VPN tunnels, remote network connections for both voice and data could be easily implemented, which provided a functional environment for all of the information and data that needed to be kept safe. The conditions created by the pandemic also provided an excellent opportunity to explore the advanced call handling and routing capabilities often available in most modern 911 call-taking systems. More information about the caller can now be made available to the call taker and to the system. Therefore, more data points for intelligent decision-making are possible. Most of today's call-taking solutions understand which operator is logged into each individual station. Systems can also understand the capabilities of each particular operator. Now, knowing this, specific calls can be routed to specific dispatchers for handling based on the needs of the event and the capabilities of the individual. Each call taker is assigned a matrix of skill sets. Quite simply, these are capabilities that each particular individual has, and they can be anything from functional responsibilities such as dispatch, call taker, or some other specific job. And skill sets can also apply to specific skills and capabilities, such as languages that are spoken, or the ability to handle text messages, or even specific incident types. So armed with all of this logic, the main routing system can easily select the most appropriate resource for the task at hand. This additional capability can be invaluable when dealing with mass call events or disparate operating conditions, such as those that are presented by the pandemic, where individuals are no longer located inside the same room. If anything, the challenging times that 911 centers had to go through in 2020 was a great opportunity to start learning about new processes and procedures that'll be required for the future. For example, when the next pandemic hits. While in the past, public safety has been hesitant about new technology and IP in general, I believe an important lesson has been learned, and now that the concept of being a remote worker in a PSAP has been reviewed and vetted to some degree, more and more agencies will be investigating these capabilities and developing plans for the future. Those plans will ensure that the best possible decision can be made by the systems. And at 911 Inform, we'll be doing our part to ensure that additional data from the origination network will flow seamlessly and smoothly into the PSAP. That'll provide as much context as possible so the best decision on resources can be made quickly and without excessive analysis. Next Generation 911. We're at the proverbial brink of a new evolution in technology that will have a direct impact on public safety and the well-being of citizens. Now is not the time to take our foot off the gas. It's time to accelerate into the future using new technologies to our advantage. That wraps up this audio version of my latest blog, Pandemic 2020 Lessons Learned. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Fletch911. Go to www.fletch.tv, where you can download all of my blogs and podcasts. And be sure to check out my brand new podcast series, Next Gen 911 Future Makers, where we talk about not only the technology, but those next generation 911 leaders that are focusing on the next generation of 911 experts. Go to ng911futuremakers.com and give it a listen. I think you'll find it very interesting and inspirational. This is Fletch. Thanks for listening. Remember, stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.